Hi, my name is Tierra Holmes, and I am a rising senior at Howard University, and I am majoring in community health. The book I chose to read from is called Black Boy by Richard Wright, and I'm going to start at chapter 3. Having grown taller and older, I now associate with older boys, and I had to pay for my admittance into their company by subscribing to certain racial sentiments. The touchstone of fraternity was my feeling toward white people. How much hostility I held toward them, what degrees of value and honor I assigned to the race. None of this was premeditated, but sprang spontaneously out of the talk of black boys who met at the crossroads. It was degrading to play with girls, and in our talk we relegated them to a remote island of life. We had somehow caught the spirit of the role of our sex, and we flocked together for common moral schooling. We spoke boastfully in bass voices. We used the word nigger to prove the tough fiber of our feelings. We spouted excessive profanity as a sign of our coming manhood. We pretended callousness toward the injunctions of our parents, and we strove to convince one another that our direction stemmed from ourselves and ourselves alone. Yet we frantically concealed how dependent we were upon one another. Of an afternoon when school had let out, I was sauntered down the street. I got nervous.
Do you want to start?
I got nervous.
Keep going, and then we'll splice it together.
All right. Okay, this is pronounced Outly, right?
What's that?
Or Outly? I-D-O-Y.
Ideally?
I-D-O-Y.
I-D-O-Y?
I-D-L-Y. Idly?
Idly. Yeah.
Idly? Okay, cool. Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Of an afternoon when school had let out, I would saunter down the street, idly kicking an empty tin can, or knocking a stick against the palings of a wooden fence, or whistling until I would stumble upon one or more of the gang loitering at the corner, standing in a field or sitting upon the steps of somebody's house. Hey, you eat yet? Uneasily trying to make conversation. Yeah, man, I done really fed my face, casually. I had cabbage and potatoes, confidently. I had buttermilk and black-eyed peas, meekly informational. Hell, I ain't gonna stand near you, nigga, pronouncement. How come? Fiend innocence. Cause you gonna smell up this air in a minute, a shouted accusation. Laughter runs through the crowd. Nigga, your mind's in a ditch. Amusingly, moralistic. Ditch nothing, nigga. You're gonna break wind any minute now. Triumphant pronouncement creating suspense. Sober statement of an old problem.